So hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Fun Guy Flips. This is our special midweek episode where we show you all of our cool stuff that we actually sold and that we're shipping out. Gina's not in the intro here because she's currently editing this video. I know, it's weird, right? And she can't get up right now. Let me show you something here. Our dog currently has her pinned down. She's a vicious pit bull.
I just can't get up.
Yeah, you gotta watch those pit bulls. But yeah, this week we're going to show you a little bit behind the scenes of how we do our processing, a little bit of the secret sauce. Spoiler alert, it's not pretty right now, but we get it done. We'll show you what we do and the plans that we have moving forward. So stick with us and we'll show you that stuff.
Got the promo Dizzy Rascals Stand Up Tall Fickle Learn 12-inch vinyl, YO2C.
All right.
You know,
what's it called?
Dizzy Rascal.
Dizzy Rascal.
Yeah.
That should be easy to find since they're in alphabetical order. Dizzy Rascal. Should I know what this is? Because I have no idea what it is.
I don't know what it is. So we picked up this vinyl from a big batch of vinyl that we got, I think, at the auction. They were like just about $1 a vinyl or so.
Yeah. And
we are way in the profit on those.
And how much did this one sell for?
$9.95 plus shipping.
$9.95 plus shipping. Awesome. All right. What do we got next?
Next we have two video games, so if you want to pick them up together. There's WWE SmackDown Just Bring It for PlayStation 2.
WWE
SmackDown
for PlayStation 2.
Mm-hmm.
Where the heck is that? Oh. I put it under S. SmackDown.
Woo.
Just Bring It.
Scared me.
And what's the second game we got?
Time Splitters 2 for PlayStation 2.
Time Splitters 2. PlayStation 2. Previously viewed, $14.99. Is that how much we charged?
More.
Nice. Rate of inflation is upon us, folks. So how much did the SmackDown go for?
That went for $8.95 plus shipping.
$8.95 plus shipping. And Time Splitters 2
went for $16.69 plus shipping.
$16.69 plus shipping.
We offered 7% off to a watcher, so.
Nice.
Yeah.
And these, I think, just came in a lot with a bunch of other stuff that we bought a while back.
All right. We have 5 blank cassette tapes, AO1B.
5 blank cassette tapes, still sealed. So these we got at the auction the other day with a CD case and a whole bunch of sealed tapes. And we did really well on these tapes. I think we spent, what, $14, $16 on the whole lot?
Yeah.
$14. And I think these were the last ones that needed to sell yet.
Yeah, your dad gave us some back, so we have a little bit more. But...
Oh yeah, that should be another $20. So how much did this one sell for?
$3.95 plus shipping.
$3.95 plus shipping. Big money, folks, in tapes. Don't pass them up.
All right, next is the vintage 1990s Marlboro Unlimited Duffel Bag, AO3A.
All right, let's check this thing out. Old Unlimited Marlboro bag. Looks better in the picture, but it's just a little flat right now. How much did this one sell for?
Excuse me, $19.96 plus shipping. It's sold on our 20% off discount.
$19.96 plus shipping.
Yep.
Part of our sale. Very nice bag though. Next.
All right, next we have 2 video games again, so if you want to...
All right, I like these video games because they're all together. I can just stand here and you can call out stuff to me and I'll get it.
So it's the RC Pro-Am for NES.
RC Pro-Am for NES.
And the Sonic Frontiers for PlayStation 5.
Sonic Frontiers for PlayStation 5. So, the Nintendo game, I've had a bunch of these for a long time. I just haven't had a chance to get around to cleaning and testing and listing them. Finally did. And a whole bunch of them sold. And then Sonic Frontiers, I remember getting this at a flea market early this year for $5, I believe, as part of a bundle with a whole bunch of comic books that we did pretty well on.
Yeah, they actually wanted $10 for that game, I think. And I asked if she would throw it in for $5 if we got the comics too, and she did. So, and then we made really good money on the comics. So I sent an offer out for 7% off for this, and it sold for $13.90 plus shipping. And then the Pro-Am sold for $5.95 plus shipping.
$5.95 plus shipping. So not huge money, but we, you know, it all averages out. So cool. Action.
All right, we have the Nintendo Wii Fit console bundle, balance board, controller, accessories, and 19 games.
Woohoo! That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, YO2B.
All right. This is all in a big, giant tote. This is some of the last remaining remnants of Wii console bundle that I got off of Marketplace the other week. Sold a whole bunch of games, already went into profit, and now we got all the lesser valued games, console, and a bunch of extras. Sold for how much?
$139.95 plus shipping.
$139.95 plus shipping. Still looks like some cool games, but they're just not worth selling on their own. So just figured I'd throw them all in there. And sold pretty quick.
Alright, next we have the 60 cassette tape storage briefcase, YO1B number 2.
Number 2. Number 1, number 2. So these are some tape cases that I picked up at a church sale just the other week. I think they were like $2 a piece.
Well,
Maybe they were only $1.
but, yeah.
Okay, maybe they were 3. Something like that. So I usually pick these up if they're nice. And this one and the other one were super nice and very unique. How many do these hold?
60 cassette tapes.
60 cassette tapes inside of this little briefcase. Paid $3. And how much did it sell for?
$39.95 plus shipping.
$39.95 plus shipping. Yeah, this old vintage media storage. Still got it.
Alright, we have 2 Funko Pops, but they're in different places, so I'll do one and then the other.
Okay, I feel like they're close to each other.
XO2C and AO2C.
Oh. Okay then.
The Funko Pop Vinyl Mortal Kombat is XO2C.
Actually, it's AO2C.
Oh, okay. And then the Freddie Mercury number 97 in the box.
Freddie Mercury. It's this one here, right?
Yes.
Nice. So this little guy, I remember getting him with a bunch of Star Wars figures that I went out and got on the Facebook Marketplace primarily to keep for my collection. And the person had a whole bunch of other stuff in their car, and this was one of the items. I think he threw it in for free. But it's been sitting on our store for well over a year now. Finally sold for how much?
$6.99 plus shipping.
$6.99 plus shipping. Freddie Mercury. And this one I'm kind of a little sad to see go. I think I thought it was valued higher than it actually is. And I was thinking about just keeping him. But we sold him. And how much did this sell for?
Sorry, $10.36 plus shipping. They had 20% discount.
$10.36 plus shipping on 20% discount. I got this in a pile of stuff at a yard sale one day. I don't really know how much I paid for them. Not very much, because it was a big pile of stuff, and it was cheap.
All right. We have the 30 CD carry travel storage case, AO1B.
All right. This one didn't last long either. Vintage media storage for the win. So, vintage CD storage case. It's a soft shell with a hard plastic case inside. Got this at the auction the other week. Primarily, I was interested in this case. And then it had a bunch of blank tapes inside that I didn't really think had a lot of value, and we ended up selling those for over $100. So I think this is the last piece of the puzzle here. We got it all for $14, am I right? Yeah. And this one sold for
$18.95 plus shipping.
$18.95 plus shipping. Love that vintage media storage.
All right, and we have the bouncer for PS2, AO1C.
The bouncer. Can't say I've ever played this game, but it looks cool. I think this might be complete.
No manual.
No manual. Incomplete. This came with a bundle with a whole bunch of other stuff on the Facebook Marketplace, and we're well in the profit for that. And how much did this one sell for?
$18.95 plus shipping.
$18.95 plus shipping. Excellent.
All right, we have 4 blank cassette tapes, TDK SD 110.
And here they are. 4 TDK SD 110 cassette tapes, brand new. We got these in a lot at the auction that we go to, with a bunch of tapes and a CD case. All the rest of the stuff sold. My dad asked for some blank tapes, so we gave him this pack. And the last time we went to the auction, he said he didn't want them. He wanted some other kind of tapes. So we gave these back. We posted them, and they sold, what, that night?
The
next day. Pretty good.
Yeah, for $16.95 plus shipping.
$16.95 plus shipping. Excellent. These tapes. I love these tapes.
Alright, so if you want to go ahead and get both of the Sony 5-disc DVD CD players, we have 2 that are the exact same one that are both tested with no remote.
Alright.
From BO3B.
BO3B.
It's
Alright.
DVP615A and DVP615B.
Alright. So these gargantuan things. Funny how this stuff works, because posted 3 of these together. One had a remote. That one sold within a day or two. These did not have remotes. Sat up for about a month. And then both of them sold within a day of each other to separate people.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly where I got these. I know I got them last year, and they've been sitting around for a while because I haven't had time to clean and test them. But I did recently. Now they're cleaned and tested and sold. Usually don't spend more than about $5 on any kind of electronics like this as a rule, because about half the time it doesn't work. So these did work, so it worked out. How much did these sell for?
$39.95 plus shipping.
$39.95 plus shipping per unit. And these, if I'm not mistaken, they fit into one of the boxes that we have on hand, and they do ship U.S. Postal Service for an affordable price, so I don't think I have to take these to FedEx, because they don't break that gigantor size.
Alright, next we have we have 2 video games going to the same person if you want to get them.
Sure.
Okay.
Call them out and I'll pick them out.
Okay. Test Drive 5 for PS1.
Test Drive 5 for PS1.
And Unreal Tournament for PS2.
Unreal Tournament for PS2. Oh, staring me in the face the whole time. It's been here the whole time. It's a little inside joke from a show that we watch on Dropout. So how much did these sell for?
I can only give you the total, which is $15.90 plus shipping. So
$15.90.
They were two lower priced games, but
Plus
they're from a repeat buyer. So
yeah, and then we'll bundle these together and refund back the difference in shipping that we're able to save by putting them in the same box.
Yeah. All right. Next is the Dogfish Head 60-minute IPA draft beer tap handle, new in box. AO2B.
AO2B. Now let's see if I can find it. Hidden behind Santa Claus. So this is a brand new in box Dogfish Head 60-minute IPA tap handle. We'll throw a picture up on screen because I think I got that bubble wrapped inside of there so it doesn't go anywhere. And whoops.
Sold. Good thing.
Good thing I bubble wrapped it. I think I got this from an old job I used to work at. And how much did this sell for?
$24.95 plus shipping.
$24.95 plus shipping. Excellent. All right. Without further ado, this is the moment you've been waiting for. Thanks for staying tuned up until this point. Now we're going to show you a little bit behind the scenes. Are you ready?
To see the mess.
Yeah, the mess. So this was all sparked by a social media post that I posted in the Trash to Cash group on Facebook. And I said, hey, any of you other resellers out here live like this? Because this is crazy, and this is how we live. So this is all going to change, I guess.
In a couple months.
Yeah, we'll touch on that a little bit later. But for now, this is how we do it. So we bring everything into our house, into our living space, and then we process it through until it goes down into the underground warehouse to never be seen again. So yeah, right now we use our dining room table for two separate functions. So primarily, it's got a tablecloth on it, and we got our soft lights back there, and we take our pictures for everything that's being listed on eBay. But also, because we only have one table in here, this is our work center test bench for electronics and all that good stuff. So right now, I'm working on a whole pile of old NES systems, cleaning them up, making them work again, bringing them back to life, and we're going to list those today. But yeah, this is how we do it. We make a big mess and then we clean it up. So once I get all these things cleaned up and ready to go, we'll transform this whole area back into our photo center, and we'll see how that goes. So, alright, so it's a cold and windy day out here, but we used to have a bunch of garden beds set up where we grow vegetables every year, and we decided this space could be better utilized as an eBay processing area. So this is our first step, was to demolish all of these garden beds and make way for a new shed for processing. We'll follow that in the future. Alright, so here's our immaculate setup for listing things on the eBays. We got some soft lights in the background that are a permanent fixture at our dining room table, which is always fun when we have guests and they don't realize that I have a switch right next to me, usually because I'm sitting in the back, and I can flash the light on them and ask them questions where they were last night and what their alibi was. So you want to tell me a little bit about what you're doing over here?
Sure. I'm taking a picture of this so that I can look it up in the eBay app to see how often it sells and for how much. So I just took a picture of it, and then now I uploaded it, and then I'm going to the sold listings specifically, to check to see.
See if it's worth listening before you go through all the steps.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No. We've already pretty much gone through that step when we buy the items. So this is more so just to make sure that I'm doing it for the right price. So like for example with this, I'm seeing that somebody sold it for $49.97, but it had the dust cover. And we obviously don't have that.
Throw a paper bag in the lot.
No.
So I guess one thing that's important to mention is that to streamline our process here, we specifically use our phones. We don't use a camera.
Yeah.
Phones take pretty damn good pictures nowadays, and it's about good enough. And then it's on the device with the eBay app, so there's no extra steps in downloading your pictures. We just snap our pictures and we just drop them right into the eBay app.
Yep.
And right now we're just using a tablecloth because that's good enough for what we're doing right now. Some changes that we're going to be doing are going to eliminate this area and move it to a new dedicated area with a new photo station. But for now we're just using our tablecloth. Try to get the wrinkles out, and we got a little lint roller that we can get any kind of dirt off, so we're not getting that in the picture.
Yeah.
Usually comes out pretty nice.
Alright, so I found one that didn't have the dust cover that also sold for $49.97. Not even $49.99 rather. So that's going to be my base price. I'm not seeing a second one, so.
Yeah, and I don't know exactly what your process is, but something that I've learned to do over time is to look up the item. You want to look at what it's sold for recently in the last 90 days by filtering to sold items of that kind. And you can kind of gauge what people are willing to pay for the item. But then also I like to go through and organize it by price and see where my competition is at. And see, do I need to price competitively depending on what kind of item it is? Or can I just kind of price it a little higher because the demand is there? So if it's something that's not selling a whole lot and there's a million of them listed, I'm probably going to price it pretty low to try to get it sold. But if it's something that's selling every single day, I'm going to price it pretty high because chances are mine's going to sell and I'll get a good price for it.
So I put in red as a description term, but I'm not seeing almost any red ones listed.
That's good.
Yeah.
And that's sort of the appeal with this particular item that I saw was, hey, this is red. I don't normally see red ones. I see the white ones all the time. But red's pretty cool. So makes it a little unique. Can hopefully bring a little bit of a premium to this item.
Yeah.
And I think probably normally sells for about $30. Maybe we can sell it for, like you said, 50.
Yeah, that's what we are going to sell it for because so the other person had 50. The one with the cover did $49.97 with a $50 delivery shipping.
$50 delivery.
Yeah. And then the other person did $50 with $13 delivery. So that's who's the one I'm going to base it off of.
Yeah. Depending where this is going, it'll probably be $15, $20 delivery.
Yeah. So I went to the item and I clicked sell one like this on my phone. And what that does is it populates everything that person had put in their listing into the listing summary. So the good thing about that is I don't have to pick as many descriptions and items and information out of it. I still have to do some.
It's mostly verifying at that point then.
Yeah.
Verify that their information was correct and accurate and that they didn't miss anything.
Yep.
I usually change the titles substantially, because I feel like a lot of the keywords that people are looking for need to be in that title, and a lot of titles that we list off of don't seem like they have the keywords that you might want to be looking for. I always try to put myself in the buyer's shoes. If I was trying to find this item, what would I search for? How would I find it? How would I filter it? And then try to get mine in that sweet spot.
Yeah, that makes sense. I do change them, but a lot of times that's one of the things I'm looking at too, is like one that did a better title. So
yeah,
and it already sold with that title, so you know that title at least works
right
once. So
and their category, where it was placed in the eBay category, yeah. Which I'm not sure that's entirely that important. I could be wrong. Tell me what you think. But I feel like if you're doing a search for the item, it's going to pop up by your keywords, not so much what category it's under.
Yeah. I agree.
So some tips for taking photos, because we're trying to streamline the process. On your phone, at least on our phone, we can change the aspect ratio of the picture to be 1:1 or 1:1. So it's a perfectly square picture, which works with eBay's main picture, kind of how they like it, 1:1. And we try to fill that space with the item to make it a little bigger, make it pop, give it a good angle, give it good lighting. Try not to have any wrinkles, no dirt in the picture.
Yeah.
And get all the angles of the item. If there's any kind of issue, there's a crack or some sort of something missing, we want to make sure that we get really good pictures of that, so that we're fully disclosing any kind of issues before somebody buys it. We don't want to hide anything.
Yeah, we want to make sure that it's being accurately described. So.
Yeah, so they're getting exactly what they paid for. While Gina's taking some pictures over here, I keep a little tote with bags and supplies, tape. Usually have some bubble wrap on hand. Depending what the items are, we'll bag them because they're going down into our underground warehouse in the basement. And we want to make sure that there's no dust getting on them, no kind of moisture getting in there. So we'll bag everything up while it's being stored. And if it's glass, we'll bubble wrap it ahead of time so that once it gets purchased, we usually ship this stuff out during the work week. We'll ship it out at night before we go to bed. So it's key to have everything bubble wrapped and prepared and ready to just drop into a box and ship it, to streamline that process as much as possible, at least for us. That's what works for us. Something else that works for us here is totes. So we have a whole arsenal of 27-gallon totes. We put these things into the Jeep when we go sourcing, and we just fill them up and we bring them in the house, and makes our death pile a little more manageable, although it is in our living space currently until we have our new space dedicated for processing, which is actually hopefully going to be pretty soon. So I'm very excited about that. But these totes make life so much easier. Sometimes we will label them to make things a little more manageable once the death pile starts to grow. Ideally, you don't want to have an ongoing, growing death pile that you never get to. Unfortunately, that's something that we deal with, is that we still have a death pile that's in our living space, which is usually the stuff that we're sourcing throughout the week, and we're moving through that. Not at an incredible pace by any means, but we also have a death pile that is just kind of lingering in our underground basement warehouse right now until we get time to get through that as well. So not ideal, but it is what it is. you gotta buy the stuff, right? And once it's processed and put onto eBay, goes into another tote of processed goods. And what we do with that, we take it down to our underground warehouse, and then we inventory it by putting it into labeled shelves and adding the custom SKU in the eBay app so that we know where it is. So as soon as somebody buys it, the custom SKU is something that automatically pops up on that order page, and we can see exactly where it's stored so we can go and pick it right away to ship it. So fast forward to the future here, and I've moved the small TV down to our underground warehouse to hopefully make it a little easier to work on electronics and test and clean these video game systems and the like, to hopefully eliminate the issue of trying to use our dining room table for 2 different purposes, 3 different purposes, because I guess we try to eat at it sometimes. Not that often right now. But then the issue that we run into is that our shipping station is overrun by cleaning and testing. So this is all going to change coming up with our implementation of our dedicated shed for processing, which I'm super excited about. But for now, this is how we do it. A little better of a process, I think. But damn, we need that shed. And we got the neighbor dog, Ziva. Hi, Ziva.